Hello everybody and welcome to Inside Line Racing ILR2 live from Spain. We are here in Catalonia, controversial place to be in if you're keeping up with politics at the moment. But we're in Catalonia, as I said, it is the Spanish Grand Prix round number 5 for the ILR boys here today. I haven't been able to keep up with everything for the past couple of weeks, but it's nice to be back in the commentary box and again, I won't be able to see out the entire race as I've got AOR straight after this. But I will stay as long as I can and keep everybody as entertained as I can. So the stream is now live. Welcome everybody. I'll just get up the stream chat on my phone. I'm on my own tonight. Not sure where Evil is. I was hoping he'd be joining me, but unfortunately he is not. Let me just get up ILR stream right there. Hello to everybody who is watching. We're watching Wome coming out on track in the Renault right now. So hello to everybody in the chat, as I said. So it's going to be a home Grand Prix for George. Here he comes out onto the track in the Williams. So he's going to be looking to take a great result here today. And we hope that he does well in his home Grand Prix. So let's go through who we have here today. We have Forzadix, number 13 in the Ferrari. Then we have Aidan Griffiths in the other Ferrari. Carl Meds in the Haas. Nicolo in the Sauber. Matt in the Williams, George in the Williams. King is making a return. I believe he's in the Red Bull. I'll check that again. Flexi in the Renault. We have Woma, who's also in the Renault. It's me in the Red Bull. Matthew in the Toro Rosso. Phil Bargewell in the Mercedes. And Luke in the Sauber as well. And good to see we have a new... Hopefully we'll be having a new driver in the chat there. That's awesome to see. So... welcome to Catalonia. As I said, it is a very, very well-known track. Plenty of pre-season testing goes on here. And I believe we have 3 compounds of tyres available for us today. We have... Forzadix pushing the limits right there. We've got softs, mediums and hards, as far as I know. One stop can be possible. As we may see some people try that. We were missing Ginger Andy. He's currently at... I think he's at a match, actually. I'll have to check that again. But, yeah. He is going to not be joining us here today. He was saying the one stop is possible if you go from a soft stint at the start and then a hard stint all the way to the end. So, 2 DRS zones. Let's down this part of the track here and down the main straight. We've got a yellow in Sector 2, and that is Aidan Griffiths, who's spun his Ferrari. Should get that nice and well back around again. And he taps the rear of his car against the barrier. Matthew goes fastest for the moment with Womo, 120.0 and 19.1 for Matthew. It's a good lap. We're going to be seeing going into the 18s, I reckon. We're going to be seeing pole lap around an 18.3 to an 18.5 is what I'm predicting. Forzadix 19.9. Now let's see. Aidan Griffiths back in the pits, obviously with damage. And then we have Phil Bardwell going second quickest with a 119.5. I think we've had a crash. We have had Luke, who's bottled it in the first sector. You can see him gone around there with his Sauber firmly embedded in that Armco barrier. So that's not good. He's going to be starting from the back. Sauber's down the back once again. We should be able to see as we come past. Might be able to see it here. But there should be a dead Sauber somewhere along here. No, it's been cleared from the track. Now let's have a look. I didn't mean to check. And there's George. The crowd go wild. 119.0. And we have a yellow in Sector 3. And that is the car. Well, that was Phil going slowly. So Sector 3 is around where Matt is right now. I need to get the championship up for you guys. That's what I meant to do. Sector 3, we've got a yellow again, so it's just slow cars, I reckon. But let's have a look at how the championship is shaping up right now. Because I believe it's quite close at the top, if I'm not mistaken. Red Bull comes in to the pits. Yellow in Sector 2, and that is George, who's taken to the gravel trap. Not quite sure what he's doing there. I think he's doing a bit of grass cutting. That's out of the way of his teammate. Comes back out on track. He's doing a bit of gardening. Now, so is George currently fastest in his home Grand Prix? 119.0, only a tenth of a second quicker. So this should be quite interesting. If I can get the ILR2 championship standings, that'd be great. That's ILR3. That's IndyILR, ILR1. ILR1 constructors. That's ILR3 again. ILR3. Looks like I'm not going to be able to get those up. Let me get back to the chat. Well, everybody's in the 119s at the moment, apart from a couple of people. Carl, Wame, King, Nicolo. Aidan Griffiths is back in the pits. Luke, of course, is out of qualifying. Let's see, we're riding on the... I've dropped my phone. We're riding on the side pod camera for a second there with Matt. If we can get somebody who is going around the lap. Yeah, we'll stick on board with Matt as he goes for a lap around the Catalunya circuit. Hard on the brakes. Drop it down to third gear. Let the car roll through. And then easy on the power on the way out. Absolutely flat out here before we get to the slightly off camber S's here. He'll get half his car on the apex. Power out. And we come to the almost flat section. He's going to lift slightly, get half his car over the apex. Nicely done. DRS flipped open on the back there. Then he'll come to just before the 100-meter board, slam on the brakes, down to second gear. And then on the power once again for this tricky little section here. Then hard on the brakes and let the car rolling. Once the car starts to come back to you, on the power again. Nicely done from Matt here. Gets it through the S's here. This is the toughest one. You want half your car on that curb and your half on the other one. Nicely done. And comes into the pit lane, so that kind of ruins it, but you get the idea of a lap here. The only car out on track right now is It's Me. Now, if we can actually get the split times up, that would be great. We want lap data. There we go. That's what I meant to put up. Everybody is in the pits right now. We got that lull. Before everybody starts to come out, we've got a Ferrari coming out. That is, I believe, either Aidan Griffiths. And there's Carl coming out on an outlap. And we should have see a Ferrari come out. There should be four ZXers who's coming out onto the track in the number 13 Ferrari, same number as George. A number that should be synonymous with Catalunya, as a certain Pastor Maldonado one here in Catalunya wearing the number 13 in the Williams, so perhaps that bodes well for George. So King is out on track in the Toro Rosso. Everybody's starting to come back out. Flexi's back out on track once again. So we're just going to be seeing who is going to be the first to kind of set their lap. It will be Carl Meds in a Haas. Here we go then. So DRS is wide open. Let's run through sector 1 with him. Riding on board. Watch the speed. Hard on the brakes for turn number 1. It's a very nice corner, that. Then easy on the power. A little bit twitchy from Carl there. Let's get him through the long, flat right-hander. Gets it nicely turned in. It's Me pops a 1:18.7 in. And that's an excellent lap from him. So that means George is going to have to respond. Watching Carl as he comes through sector 2. A big kick of oversteer from the Haas there. Shows how hard he's pushing in number 23. With that very high set front wing in comparison to the others. And it just looks so planted coming through there. And there's a spin for the Haas. And that's going to be in the wall. And that is a big accident for Carl there. That's him out of qualifying. Pushing too hard. So that's another one bites the dust, essentially. Let's watch Forza X as he comes through. They will see a dead-looking Haas coming around here. Forza X just looks so brilliant coming through there. DRS open on the Ferrari. The debris has been cleared. We're getting a nice shark fin shot. And we got another yellow. Now, where is that? That is sector 1, and that is King, who's gone straight on. That's probably a wheel disconnection or something. How is Forsetics getting on? That's another yellow going out there. It's probably for King at this. Yes, it is. He's struggling to get the car going again. And this looks to be a retirement, pulling up to the marshal post. And what on earth is he doing? And It's Me has gone as well. So has there been an accident or has he just retired? He's just retired. Okay, that's fine. King is retired from the session. And Force Alex popped third, by the way, with a 1:19.1. Phil Bargewell, he's the man to watch. I believe he's the championship leader at the moment in the Mercedes. Coming out to turn one, wearing that coat hanger. And we have Force Alex who's retiring. You just see him slowing down. It's just stunning through there. Force Alex pulled up on the side of the track there. Nice panning shot as he comes through turn number 3. Let's watch him through here. He's looking very good indeed. It's currently It's Me who's fastest right now. These are the last couple of drivers who'll be setting the laps now. I'm just going to quickly turn off my notifications because that's actually kind of annoying. Notifications, pop-up notifications, just off. Alright, good. Well, actually not all of them off because I kind of need to keep invitations on. Whoops. Hold on. There we go. Nicely done. Okay, now we're watching Phil coming through the last sector here. What can he do? Can he get himself any further up the grid? Because he needs to. Matthew has arrived back in the game. And across the line goes one of the Saubers. And that's Phil going third by just a couple of hundredths. And that's it for his lap. How is George doing? Can he take pole in his home race? He gets on the gravel. He's kicking it up. He's trying hard. It's Matt who's got as quick as 1:18.6. Let's watch the man of the hour, George, the Spaniard. Can he take pole position here in Catalonia? Right on board with him through the final sector. Hits the apex very nicely indeed. He's going to be thinking about sipping champagne on the podium in his home race, coming through the final corner. Can he do it? George, in his home race, pole position? No, he can't do it. Close, but he can't do it. And I think that is everybody. So it is Matt who takes pole position here in Catalonia. It's Me on row 2. And then George taking P3. And that'll be Phil P4, Forza is P5, Matthew P6, Wama P7, Flexi P8, Carl P9, Nicolo P10, King P11, Aidan Griffiths P12, and Luke is going to start from the back after his accident. And there's your confirmation. It's quite close. Confirmation is quite close. Yeah, just checking sound levels there. Yeah, indeed, 10th of a second between second, third, and then another couple of tenths down. A couple of hundred separating 4th and 5th, and a 1,000th separating 5th and 6th. That's how close it's getting between guys in the midfield right now. Goddamn, making me check sound levels. Oh crap, copyright. Oh, and we've got a wet start, ladies and gentlemen. Isn't this going to be fun? Isn't this going to be just amazing? I hope they've done wet practice because this is going to be a little bit of carnage. We've got 30 seconds to the race start here. I don't think formation lap is enabled, so I think we'll be heading straight to the grid and straight to race start here in Catalonia for ILR2 round number 5. What can these guys do in the wet conditions? So, with the 5 seconds to go, all I can say is grab your popcorn, ladies and gentlemen. It is time to go racing in Catalonia. And we go to 5 red lights. We don't, because we go for a formation lap. Whoops. So, away they go for the formation lap. It'll be Matt who leads. It's a Williams. It's not a Williams 1-2, but it is a Williams who starts P1 with George, who's going to maybe try and lead the formation lap on his way out. In Spain, get the crowds riled up before we come to the start. And now these guys will have to get used to wet conditions. They need to get acclimatized before they can take to the grid. So this is very, very useful few minutes or a few seconds for them to just find the wet line, find where the grip is, and see how they go from there. So we have 12 drivers. We've lost one, it looks like. So in starting order from the back, it is Luke, followed by King, Nicolo, who's taken to the gravel on the formation lap, Carl in P9, Flexi P8, Wame P7, Matthew in P6, Force Alex P5, Phil P4, George P3, It's Me P2, and Matt P1. So you can see the rain lights on the back of the cars flashing away, just to let them see through the spray. That's going to be the deciding factor, is who can see through the spray and who can find the wet lines the quickest. And when will it turn to dry? So we're waiting for them to round the last corner. Matt just backing the field up just so he doesn't have to lose too much time. And here he comes to his grid slot. And now the tension builds. You can see Charlie Whiting at the top right of your screen in the start booth there, waiting for the drivers to go into position. And team bosses on the pit wall there, all getting riled up and ready for the start of the Spanish Grand Prix. Luke is in position. And we go to 5 red lights for the Spanish Grand Prix. It's lights out and away we go, and it's a good start from Matt, and it's a good start from It's Me as well. It's all even off the front row. George gets a little bit sideways. Phil gets a great start off P4. He's going to be looking for P3, and that in the background, it looks like Matthew's looking for P5, and up the inside, perhaps It's Me. No, George tried to go around the outside of Phil into turn number 1, and that's Phil looking around the outside. Yes, he does get it. So a couple of movers. Flexi moves his way up, Carl moves his way up, and it looks like everybody's got through cleanly so far. But it's Me who's got the lead into P number 1, and Matt is looking back up the inside once again for P1 as we go through turn number 3, and it all looks all clean so far. Still trying to get it done, and there's a bit of contact made as they try to find the grip levels, and it is going to be, as we go, Flexi goes around, I think, or is that looks like the other Renault. So we've got a Renault who's gone around. That's Wame, I apologise. There's been contact and Phil's in the gravel. And I think that's George involved as well. There's been a big crash behind there. That is not what we wanted to see. Matthew, George involved, Phil involved. And Force Edix was involved as well. So that means Matt is now P2, and Flexi goes for the lead. Flexi goes for the lead, and he's into P1. Where's that come from? P8 he started. Incredible stuff we see here. So now it's Flexi who leads, Matt second, P3 is It's Me, Carl in P4, King P5, Nicolo P6, incredible start from him, Luke P7, Force Edix P8 now, George P9, Matthew P10, Phil P11, and Wame down the back in P12 after lap number 1. So an absolutely chaotic start, but a dream start for the Renault team. But here we go then, we're going to see a move for P2. I think It's Me's looking for a way past Matt here as they go to turn number 1. Forza is into the pit lane, and we're seeing a move around the outside. He's going to try it. Can he do it? No, he can't. They give each other a good old squeeze to the inside. Can he do it? No, he's going to hold position for now. This is going to allow Carl to close up and get in on the action here. And he's got a good cut back on the way out. Can he maybe try one on the brakes? No, that's good defense from Matt there. Now Carl's in the mix. He gets a cut back on the way out though, so I think this could be a move for It's Me as he gets a little bit sideways and tries to hang it round the outside again, but he's maybe trying to cut back. Matt is defending it very well, but there's now a trolley train beginning to form as we get about 6 cars in one shot there. So through they come, through the S's. It's been a dream start for Flexi. He's 3.1 seconds clear of these guys right now. There is the yellow helmeted Renault, and a little bit get on the gravel as it all begins to spread out as Matthew is now trying to go for P2, excuse me, P4, but now that's It's Me up the inside there for P2. Carl P4 and King is trying to get away past, that was King, excuse me, trying to get past Nicolo P6, and these Saubers have managed to get back up from the back of the grid up to the midfield here. as Wome gets involved. And there's a 3-year battle for between these guys down the back here. And up the inside tries Phil. Can he do it? Can he do it at all? He goes to the inside. And he should get that moved on unless Wome tries to force him off the track. And he does. He's coming back and there's big contact made. And George is going to get that position as well. And he's going to slip it up the inside of Phil as well. So good stuff from him. And what has happened to Matt? He's dropped right back. And Luke and the 2 Saubers are going to go at it here. This is incredible stuff from the ILR2 boys in the first couple of laps. And around goes Matt. He's got damage, I think, has he? No, he hasn't. Meanwhile, up the front, it is Flexi who leads for 4.2 seconds clear of It's Me. Carl Med's P3. King is P4. It's a great comeback from him. Nicolo P5. 2 Saubers working really well together in P5 and 6. Matt now P7. Wome P8. And these guys are still going at it down here. So this is between Phil and George down in P8 and 9 here. They managed to get past, but then they lost the positions again to Wome, so they're getting their asses handed to them a little bit. Now Matthew's down in P12 right now, running right down the back. Forzetics P11, George P10, Phil P9, Wome P8, Matt P7, Luke and Nicolo P6, 5 and 6. King is behind Carl P3 and 4, and It's Me in P2 with Flexi out in front after coming from P8 on the grid to P1 in one single lap. He's going to be proud of that one. So now things begin to settle down a little bit as the guys start to find the grip levels. And can we maybe see the Saubers going at it? That'll be exciting little stuff from the Italian and the Dutchman of Nicolo and Luke. Saubers haven't really had much airtime this season, but we had Luke crash out in qualifying, starting down the back, but his teammate started, I believe, P11. So these guys have done a good job to get up as far as they have. And we haven't had any retirements from this race so far, even after all the action we've seen. So this is good stuff. So, of course, everybody on the intermediate tyres. And there is your position changes, the biggest movers. Matthew, fastest lap. So everybody up about 6 or 7 positions each. Or down 7 positions each. And there you have it. So the closest 2 right now are the 2 Saubers and Carl and It's Me. So Luke's going to be getting the dirty air off of his teammate ahead, so you're going to have to watch that. But it is a great little spread of cars as we head down towards Sector 3. It's a shame I can't stay for the entire race, because this is turning out to be a great race already. Now Flexi extending his lead. 5.2 seconds now clear of It's Me. He's adapting to the wet conditions absolutely incredibly. There is It's Me. There's Carl. And King is right on his tail, actually. It's only 6/10 behind, but of course DRS not enabled in the wet conditions, so it's not going to be as easy to overtake in these cars in the slipstream. So a little bit of a train just forming now. As we have Phil coming into the pit for a nose change. Let's watch the Mercedes crew go to work. And away he goes. So it's a bit of a disaster. Matthew is flying down the back. He should get in front of Phil. Yes, he does. And he's chasing after Forzetics. Will someone else take over the stream? Unfortunately not, because I haven't got a co-commentator today. King is beginning to challenge. As you can see, the gap's coming down to just half a second now between himself and Carl. And It's Me is not too far ahead. And the 2 Saubers getting ever closer together. Nicolo just able to hold on, trying to break the toe off his teammate, tapping the grass slightly. Just listening to the sound of the 1.6 litre V6s as Luke is beginning to challenge, so perhaps a T-Mort is starting to come into play here. Let's watch as they come through the S's. Who has got the better traction? It looks like it's Luke. So let's watch them coming out of the final turn. Let's watch the Saubers go at it if possible. Doesn't look like it. Nicolo, good traction out of the final corner, but can Luke get the slipstream and maybe launching up the inside of his teammate? He's getting closer and closer. So let's see if he can launch up the inside. Perhaps no, he's going to stay back. And it's me now starting to reel in Flexi a little bit here. You can see the spray. These cars are displacing about 100 litres of water per second each time they go through a wet patch. A dry line now starting to form a little bit as they dry out the track with those inters. And we have George in the pit lane as well. That's for another set of inters, it looks like. And he has got in front of George. So back up to this little train of cars here as Nicolo attempts to see if he can get closer to King. Is not able to find a way past Carl here yet. It's me going slightly quicker than the man up front. I believe Nicolo and Luke have managed to reel in these guys. They're right there with them now. So we could see a nice little sneaky little battle here between these few guys. And you can see that Matt is attempting to reel them into the back. The man who started on pole and had a disastrous first lap as Luke has run wide out of the last corner there. That's going to cost him some time down the straight. King just not able to get closer, and that has been a spin for Matt, it looks like. So commentator's curse, I mentioned him and he spins, and Wom is up to P7 now. Let's check if there's any damage on the Williams. Doesn't look like it. But it has been a disastrous first couple of laps for these two, Phil and George. Big incident involving about 4 cars, including all of these guys from 8 down to 12th were all involved. Phil, fastest lap, fresh set of inters, of course. You would expect that. 7 laps out of 33 completed, and it's still quite the interesting race. As It's Me is still pulling time on Flexi here. As the Saubers get very, very close together. Luke's good through that second sector. So let's see if he can put the fight to his teammate. King has dropped back from Carl's. There's been a problem there, and he's now got 2 Saubers for company. Watch them coming up through sector 2, and now it's starting to get feisty. So coming through sector 2, the number 25 and the Italian in the Sauber. Luke has got good traction. Can Nicolo fend him off? I don't know if he's going to be able to. He's got good traction there. Can Luke get the slipstream? Surely, defending right out to the inside wall. And he's going to have to take the outside line. Indeed he does. And the 2 Saubers go wheel to wheel towards turn number 1. Can he get it on the brakes? A good, nice, feisty little battle, inter-team battle here. Nicolo holds on very well indeed. Can Luke get the cut back? No, he can't. So, good defense from the Italian. Nice to see teammates going at it in the inter-team battle. And just down the back here we have Matthew, and who's caught the Ferrari of Forzetics here. You have to think about a move, perhaps. Could check back on that in a little while, but Luke is sticking with his teammate for now. And Nicolo gets a little bit sideways through the S's there. And It's Me is definitely beginning to catch now. 3.5 the gap. So a 3-way battle for the 4th position. I think there was a little bit of contact between King and I believe Nicolo there, because there was a little bit of gold. Debris was left on the track. Luke, a little bit of a kick of oversteer means he can't quite keep up with these guys through sector 2. Nicolo's now the man to watch as he tries to pass the Toro Rosso. But look at Luke, big kick of oversteer for Nicolo there. So now Luke's going to be challenging again, but Nicolo always the man to get the good traction out of the final corner. So I don't think it's going to be enough for Luke to get alongside, not this time. And this is just allowing King to just stay a little bit ahead because he knows these guys will go wheel to wheel. But now it's getting even feistier. Luke is trying to get a better line, and he's trying his utmost to get past his teammate. If they're in a party right now, I guess they're screaming at each other to move out of my way, move out of my way. No team orders at play just yet. These guys aren't fighting for the championship. Luke's got good traction. Nicola goes to defense straight away, cuts him off. And Matthew's still unable to get past Forzatic down the back. This is the closest battle at the moment between the two teammates of Luke and Niccolo. Let's watch, see the difference in line there. Adjusting fuel mixtures just to try and get the advantage on the teammate on the brakes. You can see how tentative they're going. Better line from Luke there. Gets a better apex, but that's not necessarily the best line in the wet. Let's watch as they come through. This is such a tough corner in the wet. Look at just how much they're fighting the car through there. And the young little Swiss team are putting on a bit of a show here. They are the stars of the show for now, but they will have a Renault for company in a little while if they're not careful. There goes Carl, there goes King, and there comes the two Saubers. Big kick of oversteer for Luke through. That's going to cost him some time. Almost bottled it into the wall right there. So close. Just keep an eye on the battle between these two guys, between Forzetics and Matthew. Let's see if Matthew can get past this time around. He's looking very good, got good traction out of the final corner. Should have the power in that Toro Rosso. Let's see, he's going to pull alongside into turn number one. Surely, here comes Matthew down the inside. And let's see if Forza can hold it around the outside. Yes, he can. Good defense from the Ferrari. But can Matthew trying to hold it around the outside and up the inside? And they're going to try and hold it around this long right-hander. Fantastic driving from the two of them. And it's going to be Forza who holds on for now. Fantastic. Great little pieces of driving from those two drivers there, showing how much they're fighting for points. A little bit wide from Matthew there. Let's go back to the battle between the Saubers. How are these guys getting on? Close as ever. Close as ever. So let's see then. How can these guys fare? Well, they will have a Renault shortly for company. There is Wome. And here they come then. Luke versus Niccolo. This is the battle we've been watching for the past 11 laps. 22 to go. And we're not going to see the climax of it, unfortunately, because if they don't battle now, I'm not going to be able to see how it ends. So no move for Luke there. Let's see how Matthew gets on versus the Ferrari. The battle for 9th position this is. Good traction from Matthew again. Can he pull alongside before they get to turn 1 this time? Yes, he can. And he'll try and go down the inside. Forzetics will try and see if he can hold on versus the Toro Rosso. They're still side by side on the brakes they go. Forzetics will try and do the same thing again. Easy alongside. No, he's not. And Matthew has got that move done. So is Forzetics trying to come back? No, he's too far back this time. Back to the Saubers. Wome has definitely caught them very, very quickly. So the two of them have dropped back a little bit from King here. So Nicola begins to struggle with pace. Goes defensive versus his teammate. His teammate's late on the brakes, almost touching each other as they come to the left-hander. And that's going to cost them time because they now have definitely got a Renault for company. They've been running in 5th and 6th in the same order for the past 9 or 8 laps. And he's just trying so hard. Forza has got past Matthew again. Brilliant move. And now Matthew's going to try and come back at him. He's alongside. Can he get that move done on the brakes around the outside? That's a brilliant move if he can get that done. No, he can't. And Itzmi has come to the pit lane. There's a brilliant little battle between these two guys here. Keeping an eye. Wome. Itzmi has come into the pits with a fresh set of inters. and Matt is in as well. Fantastic little scrap between these two guys. The Saubers are still at it down the back. I don't think Matthew's going to be close enough this time. He's not as close as he was. And now they've got a charging Mercedes coming up behind them, a Phil. Phil's got himself back into the points at this stage. He's got in front of Matt. And no changes in position for these two guys. Meanwhile, their leader, Flexi's now 10.5 ahead. And a pit stop, where's that going to bring him out? It's going to bring him out around P6 or 7. If he should be able to get in front of It's Me as Carlos, a massive moment coming round that corner there. And now Luke is going to have to try and defend and attack at the same time. And teammate swaps down the back. George getting ahead of Matt. Through they come through the S's. Now, this is going to get tasty. Who gets the best exit? King comes through, followed by Nicolo. And where is Luke? He's come into the pit lane. Followed by Womack. Is this going to be a battle in the pit lane? Renault versus Sauber. Who will come out on top? It's Me should get past. Yes, he does. Now, the pit boxes are right next to each other. Who's going to get the faster pit stop? Keeping an eye on the two of them here. Womack comes out. Luke comes out. It's Luke just. That's brilliant stuff for the two of them. That is my invite to go to AOR. And much as it kills me to say it, I'm just going to keep an eye on this battle. If this doesn't have a move, then unfortunately I'm going to have to end off my stream. We've got a yellow in Sector 3. Who is that? Who is that driver? We don't know. I'm not quite sure at this moment. But I'm going to have to end my stream off and switch over to AOR because those guys are waiting for me. I should be able to stay for a little while longer because it is 10-2. So I will wait for another 4 minutes. And then I will have to end off. It's a real shame. Didn't have a co-commentator today, so I couldn't, the stream couldn't have continued. If there was one, then could have, but then you can see in the background, there is now Matthew trying to get past Forza Alex, and then now got Phil for company. And Nicolo has come into the pits. Can he get now? Can he stay in front of his teammate? Is the question. I don't think he's going to be able to. It's Me, fastest lap. Now where is Nicolo? He's there. Now this could be quite tight, but I think Luke should get out in front of him. Let's watch this. Oh, it's a nose change as well for the team. So that means Luke now P5. And a good few changes of position there. And Matthew has got in front this time, but he's not done yet. Phil charges through and takes the opportune moment. And now goes P8. So, yeah. I can't actually get the chat up on my phone now. That's quite that's not good. Oh, wait. Might be able to. Hold on. Just need to get the chat up for a second. And Luke is trying to hold off a Renault that was running very, very close indeed behind him. Where can you see AOR? On my own channel. Now that's the second invite I've received. So unfortunately I'm going to have to round out the stream. Thank you all very much for watching. It's a real shame. Flexi's in. So that's going to put Carl into the lead. But unfortunately I'm going to have to end off the stream. Thank you all so much for watching. And we'll see you all next time. Good night. Bye bye.